romance.
No.
That's the wrong video.
Yeah.
Correct.
Just uploaded Hero Man.
Demon King.
ようこそコンスタン魔術学院へ
Ichiban Ushiro no Dai Mao is the name of the anime that we're going to talk about today. Let's see. Do you want to start us off with a plot summary?
Okay, so you want the short one or the long one?
Go with the short one for now.
Dude abandoned his kid, goes to magic school. Sorting Hat tells him he's the Demon King. Everyone's scared. He tried not being scary. Girls get naked.
That's actually pretty accurate. Except instead of a sorting hat, it's a crow smoking a cigar, which kind of made me think
Stuck
of...
in a jar with no air.
Yeah, it was really... it made me think of, like, the crows in Dumbo, but, like, 10 times worse.
He Dumbledore.
He wants to
basically.
be the ultimate good guy in charge of, like, being in charge of everybody's values
And he
systems and things.
high fives this girl who has the exact same goal. She's this scantily clad, very rash
It's a school
priestess.
uniform. It's just a very short skirt.
Yes.
And she's the one who wears that funky thong that's made out of not sacrilegious, but religious.
Yeah, that was featured on Trailer Blast.
Yeah.
Except it's funny, because on the trailer, it wasn't censored, and yet... in this, they had that comical, no, don't look, symbol.
Yeah,
And yet there were many times she was less clothed.
That is true. There was a fair amount of declothing in this episode. Although at the same time, I felt like it had kind of enough going on that I didn't feel like the fan service was just totally over.
I'm just gonna be frank. I was really surprised how much I enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah, it was
it's
very high
dumb,
energy.
It was just actually funny.
It was just really cute. That said, if future episodes are really all about just him like not wanting to be the Demon King, that would get boring pretty quickly. I'm hoping that he'll move forward with something within the next 2 or so episodes, because otherwise I think I just lose interest.
I don't have a lot. Like I'm not saying this is going to be the breakaway hit of the thing. It's trashy. It's fans.
Cloak Cave.
Yeah.
Although he knows nothing about the school or its culture, apparently. Like,
Yeah.
not like apparently he clearly did not listen while he was on the campus tour at all.
No, he was abandoned by his parents. He doesn't know who
Where
his
did he get
parents
that?
are.
I don't remember.
You know, when he
seeing
got
that
dropped on in front of a
right.
cathedral.
We
in
don't
the
even
first
know if
2
that was
seconds.
his mom. We don't know what happened.
Well,
He
either
could have
way,
died. They
his,
could have died,
his
John.
parents could die. He has like scars on his
He
face.
does have some funky stuff going on his face.
And the first thing that happened is they took him to the Sorting Crow, who told them what they were going to be.
It's like, okay, we are going to give you a health examination via this smoking crow. And by the way, he's also going to tell you what your ultimate future job is. And he's never wrong.
You're going to be a blogger, Gia.
I'd have hit the crow right then.
What?
So yeah, don't come in expecting anything remotely realistic or particularly intelligent. But the first episode is really cute, and so we'll really, I think, have to see where it goes over the next few episodes before I can really...
And where can you watch it?
You can watch it on the Anime Network, or you can watch it on Crunchyroll. Now, you watched it on the Anime Network, am I right?
Yeah, and
What'd you think?
it was pretty good. I feel that there's still some kinks in their player. The player does not like to be stopped. Well, you can pause it, start it as much as you want, but if you try to move that slider around, it raises holy fury.
It's very unhappy. But Anime Network video is 4:3, whereas the Crunchyroll video is widescreen. I also thought the subtitles are different. The translations are slightly different. I mean, content-wise, you're not going to have much of a difference, but I thought the Crunchyroll subtitles were much more attractive, being a nice, smooth white font instead of a bright yellow. I also thought their translations were... But if you want a slightly smoother translation, a slightly more realistic, I guess, kind of translation, and a slightly nicer font, I would say Crunchyroll's is better. Also, the quality of the player on Crunchyroll is better, but you have to be a paid member.
Warning, that is conjecture.
Which part?
That Crunchyroll's is a, more loose, but, whatever, and then Anime Network.
That's my interpretation. I watched the entire episode on Crunchyroll, and I thought their translations were very good, and I thought they read, for the most part, like I would have translated it. The way a human being would talk, theoretically, saying obviously some very weird things that would not normally be said by humans in my world. And the short bit of the Anime Network that I listened to, I thought their translations were probably more technically accurate, but were a little bit more stiff.
Favorite scene in the episode?
I actually kind of liked at the end when suddenly they introduced these Crazy Redhead. Yeah. All for Crazy Redhead.
Oh no, I must have accidentally blown up the entire world.
I would have to atone for my sins of killing her. She's not dead yet. I would have to atone. No, I think she will be fun.
My favorite scene was when he goes into class after having been declared the Demon King, and he gives this huge speech. Like, everyone's like, God, we hate this guy. We're going to kill him in his sleep, or whatever the case. He's like, no, I've got to do something to make sure these dudes don't hate me. And he gives this big, rousing speech about how everyone should get along and not think he's the Demon King. And they're like, that's identical to a speech the Demon King gave before going to war and eradicating humanity.
Yeah. He clearly was not paying attention in history class either. History class.